Hello everyone, today let's explore Talakadu. Talakadu is about 130 kilometers from Bangalore. Talakadu is a must-visit place in Karnataka. If you ask me about buses from Bangalore, there are no direct buses to Talakadu from Bangalore. You will have to firstly go to Mysore, and then from Mysore you will have to book a taxi and then reach Talakadu. If you don't want this mess, you can directly go to a travel agency and book your bus directly to Talakadu. Does temples in Talakadu still get submerged inside the sand? What's the reason for this? Why does Talakadu get submerged in sand? In this video, there'll be lots of places and stories that I will be sharing with you guys. So keep connected. So you can actually take Panchalinga Darshana in Talakadu. Panchalinga in the sense 5 Shivalingas Darshana. But today I am going to show you 3 Shivalingas in Talakadu. Vaidyanatheshwara, Pataleshwara and Maraleshwara. Now we have reached Talakadu. Let's go inside and explore. The name Talakadu got its origin from 2 hunters. I had told you that there are 5 Shivlingas, and here in Talakadu we can see only 3 Shivlingas. To see other 2 Shivlingas, you'll have to go a little bit far away from Talakadu. Those 2 are Arakeshwara and Mallikarjuna. Earlier, many years ago, before the Archaeological Survey of India took in charge of this place, the temples here would get submerged inside the sand because the construction of these temples are a bit lower. In the sense, these temples here are only about 700 meters above sea level. Earlier, these temples in Talakadu were only opening once in 12 years. Do you even imagine? But now Archaeological Survey of India department have taken in charge, and they have made barricades so that the sand doesn't occupy the temples. They have maintained it now. Once in 12 years, Panchalinga Darshana happens in Talakadu. During that time, you can see 5 Shivalingas in one single place, and it will be like a grand fair, and they celebrate it very grandly. There are still more temples and idols submerged in sand, but nobody haven't tried to research it yet. Since we have arrived to Talakadu, it's a mandatory thing to know about the 3 curses. So let's get started with that. All these started in 1610. Mysore and Srirangapatna was in charge of Srirangapatna's divisional officers. During that time, Srirangapatna's divisional officer was Srirangaraya. There's a small story connected to this. That is, once Srirangaraya had got severe back pain, and during that time he called the doctor and asked what was the problem, and then the doctors, after looking the condition, and the doctor informed him that he has a bone marrow cancer. And then the pain starts getting extreme day by day. Once Raja Wadayar visits Srirangaraya and assists him to go to Talakadu Vaidyanatheshwara Temple because there is no such disease that cannot be cured by the god here, and he assists him to go as soon as possible. Then Srirangaraya and his wife visits Talakadu, but the last moment after reaching Talakadu, the pain gets even more worse, and Srirangaraya will leave his breath there itself. From then, Raja Wadayar takes over Srirangapatna. Once Raja Wadayar and his wife visits a temple in Srirangapatna, there he notices that there are no ornaments on God's idols, and immediately he asks the priest there about this, and the priest answers that the ornaments were given by Srirangaraya's wife earlier. During the time we put ornaments on idols, she used to give, but now she isn't giving it, and it's not with us also. Then Raja Wadayar sends his guards to get the ornaments from Alamelamma. And yes, Alamelamma is Srirangaraya's wife. And during this time, Alamelamma was in her motherland, Malangi. So the guards, after reaching Alamelamma, behaves very rude and cruelly with her and asks her to give the ornaments. But Alamelamma refuses to give. She says, "No, I won't give this, and this belongs to me." She gets really angry on them because they have taken her husband's land and now coming to snatch my ornaments. From there, she starts running towards the lake nearby, and with the ornaments, she jumps into it. But before jumping, she gives 3 curses. It goes like, "Let Talakadu fill with sand. Let Malangi become a whirlpool. Let the kings of Mysore be childless forever." The 3 curses further explained as Talakadu should fill with sand because the guards will be coming on horses to catch Alamelamma. So since the horses cannot walk properly on sand, she said this curse so that they'll not be able to catch her. That's the reason until now you can see lots of sand in Talakadu. Let Malangi become a whirlpool because she didn't wanted anyone to either find her body or ornaments. You'll be usually knowing whirlpools are dangerous for any living beings. And also there is a whirlpool in Malangi till now. Let kings of Mysore become childless because Raja Wadayar behaved so harshly with her and sent his guards to take over the ornaments. With all these frustration, she gave all these 3 curses. But until now, nobody knows exactly about this, whether it's true or false. I have also heard that there are no proof of these 3 curses in lots of books. Nobody are clear about this information. And this was the story of Alamelamma. If you go 7 kilometers away from Talakadu, you'll get to see Vijayapura Agasteshwara Swami. This is the 4th Shivalinga amongst 5 of them. In this temple, during the day of Ratha Saptami, there'll be a special puja going on. And the 5th Shivalinga is only 3 kilometers further from Vijayapura, and this is called Mudukutare Mallikarjuna. If you come to Talakadu, you can enjoy in Kaveri river. It's one of the famous tourist spot. Talakadu is also called as Karnataka's desert. Earlier in Talakadu, it is said that elephants were doing puja for Lord Shiva. Do you even believe that? And yes, it's true. Elephants were nobody else but the saints who were cursed and had become elephants. This puja was happening in Dakshina Kashi Gajaranya to a Shivalinga inside a burrow of snake. This Shivalinga is said to be a self-manifested idol. Beside this, there'll be a silk cotton tree, and to cut this tree off, two hunters come here and starts cutting the tree. By mistake, their axe falls on the burrow of snakes, and there the hunters will hear a sound that implies some human has got hurted from their axe. So they go near the burrow of snake, and there they see Shivalinga bleeding and becoming 4 parts. These 4 parts are called as Pataleshwara, Maraleshwara, Arakeshwara and Mallikarjuna. Now let's continue the story. After seeing the blood on Shivalinga, 2 hunters collapse there itself, and then Shiva comes and says to bring some silk cotton trees leaves and apply it on me, then it'll be cured. And then the hunters bring the leaves of silk cotton tree and apply it on Shivalinga. At this time, the flow of blood stops and becomes milk. Here, he cured his wound himself. This is the reason he is called as Vaidyanatheshwara. So this completes the 5 Shivalingas. And earlier in this video, I had told you about 2 hunters called as Tala and Kada. These are the hunters whom I told you about. The 2 hunters, Tala and Kada, were the reason behind 5 Shivalingas. So from then the place got its name as Talakadu. So that completes this story. Oh, this is a stone chain to a snake's neck. Now firstly, let's visit Kirtinarayana Temple. Kirtinarayana Temple was built by the Hoysala Empire King Vishnuvardhana in 10th century. This temple is one among the Panchanarayana shrines. As I told you about Panchalingas, that means 5 Shivalingas, there are also Panchanarayanas, in the sense 5 Narayana temples. Those are Tondanur Nambi Narayana, Melukote Chaluva Narayana, Gadaga Veera Narayana, Beluru Vijaya Narayana. Now let us know about Pataleshwara, who is one among the Panchalingas. It is believed that this temple was built by Ganga dynasty. It is also believed that the linga here was installed by Lord Brahma in order to worship Lord Shiva. Pataleshwara is another unique temple where it is believed that the color of linga changes during the day. It is believed that linga appears reddish orange in morning and black during the day and white during the night. Isn't it so amazing? Now let us know about Chandikeshwara. Chandikeshwara is said to be one of the Shiva's anger incarnation. Chandikeshwara is the one who keeps records of our visits to the temple. So, it is believed that we should slightly clap our hands or snap our fingers outside his shrine so that he realizes our presence. And there'll be a question for you. Why should we even do this? There's also a story connected to Chandikeshwara. According to Hindu mythology, as a young boy, Chandikeshwara spent all his time making lingas out of sand and meditating. One day, his father got angry and kicked the linga. The child got angry and at once he cut off his father's leg for daring to kick his lord. After seeing this act, Lord Shiva appeared from the Shivalinga and blessed the boy, giving him a permanent place in his temple. He also gave his father leg back. It is believed that Chandikeshwara forever lives in a state of deep meditation of Lord Shiva. And it is also believed that he is the one who keeps records of who visits to the temple and also takes care of the properties of Lord Shiva. As per another mythology, it is believed that we should just rub both our hands in front of Chandikeshwara to assure that we are not taking anything from the temple, because Chandikeshwara is considered as the caretaker of Lord Shiva's properties. Now, as I am telling about Lord Shiva, there is a small story connected here. The story goes that great sages gathered on the banks of Saraswati river to participate in a great Mahayagna, a fire ceremony organized for that period of time. Maharishi Bhrigu was also present at the scene. All the great sages and saints could not decide which of the divine Trimurtis, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, was the most eminent to be worshipped. Therefore, Bhrigu Maharshi decided to test Trimurtis. Firstly, he visits Lord Brahma. After he visits Brahmaloka, Maharshi behaved disrespectfully towards Lord Brahma, but he did so to test Brahma's nature. But Lord Brahma became so angry that he wanted to punish Maharshi Bhrigu, but the goddess of knowledge, Saraswati, consort of Lord Brahma, saved Maharshi Bhrigu from Brahma's curse. Maharishi Bhrigu observes that Brahma was too busy in his creation and turns a blind eye towards the sage. Here, Bhrigu Maharshi becomes very angry at Brahma's attitude and cursed him, saying that no one will worship Brahma in Kali Yuga. Now, Maharishi Bhrigu decided to test Lord Shiva at Kailasa Parvata. After reaching Kailasa Parvata, Nandi stopped him and did not allow him to enter inside, because at this time Lord Shiva and Parvati were in their private space. Here, Bhrigu Maharshi got really angry on Lord Shiva and cursed Lord Shiva that Lord Shiva should only to be worshipped in the form of linga and never with his beautiful physical appearance. So that is the reason from that day Shiva is being worshipped in the form of linga. Just to finish up the story, I am also telling you Bhrigu Maharshi visiting Lord Vishnu. Bhrigu Maharshi goes to Vaikunta to visit Vishnu. As he enters Vaikunta without the permission of Lord Vishnu and saw that Vishnu was sleeping at that time. Maharshi asked him to wake up, but the Lord was fast asleep. Seeing no reaction from the Lord, Maharshi from his left leg hits Lord Vishnu on his chest. That strike by Maharshi left a footprint on Lord's chest. This place is called Srivatsa and Lakshmi resides here. Now, Lord Vishnu got up after the strike and realized what had happened. On realizing that Maharshi had hit him with his foot, it is believed that Maharshi Bhrigu has a third eye on his left foot, which was the power of his knowledge and ego. Lord Vishnu held Bhrigu Maharshi's foot. During this time, he smashed the third eye of Bhrigu Maharshi to give the clarity of this act, and that enlightened Bhrigu Maharshi. And now Maharshi Bhrigu asks extreme apologies to Lord Vishnu. During this act, Lord Lakshmi was also present. So she could not tolerate disrespect displayed by Maharshi Bhrigu towards Lord Vishnu, and therefore she cursed him that she would never visit Brahmins and they will all live in absence of wealth. Brahmins will never become rich. But on hearing the curse from Lakshmi, Maharshi told her about the true nature of his visit to Vaikuntha. Lakshmi then told Maharshi that her curse would still haunt Brahmins, but whenever any Brahmin would worship Lord Vishnu, he would be free from the curse. From then, Trimurtis are known as supreme owners. Now let us know the places to visit near Talakadu. You can visit Gunja Narasimha Temple. It's about 15 kilometers from Talakadu. And the speciality of this temple is that you can see Trimakuta here, means the place of confluence of three rivers, namely Kaveri, Kabini and Spatika. This Spatika river is also called as Guptagamini because it is believed that this river is mythical. Garageshwari Temple. It's about 18 kilometers from Talakadu, and the speciality of this temple is that you can see a Yaksha Prashne Ganapati idol which is installed by Sri Adiguru Shankaracharya. Here, this idol will answer all your questions. If you ask me how is that, if your wishes are gonna come true, you can easily pick this Ganapati's idol. But if your wishes doesn't come true, you will not be able to pick this Ganapati's idol. That's how he answers your question. Next, you can see Agasteshwara Temple. It's about 17 kilometers from Talakadu. And the speciality of this temple is here you can see a Shivalinga installed by Agastya Muni. And from this Shivalinga, there will be always Tirtha coming. And it is served as prasadam to all the devotees who visit here. And then Mooguru Sri Tripura Sundari Temple. This temple is about 25 kilometers from Talakadu. Localites in Mooguru call this temple as Mooguramma Temple also. The speciality of this temple is that you should touch your nose to the ground while taking namaskara of Goddess Tripura Sundari. because it is believed that from doing this, we lose all our ego in front of goddess Tripura Sundari. Shivanasamudra is about 30 kilometers from Talakadu. I have also made a dedicated video on Shivanasamudra. You can check that out in the iCard above, and also the link is in description box. If you ask me about rooms near Talakadu, you will usually not find very near to Talakadu, but you can actually go to T. Narsipura, which is located only about 15 kilometers from Talakadu. In T. Narsipura, you can find many rooms, namely Shri Krishna Lodge, Shri Ranga Lodge, and Siddarameshwara Lodge. These rooms are available only in 750 meters from T. Narsipura. You can actually make a 2-day trip and visit Talakadu first and then come back to T. Narsipura, stay here and relax, and then next day you can visit all the temples which I told you earlier, because you can cover all these places in one single day. That's it, guys. This was about Talakadu, and I will be coming up with another informative video. So keep connected and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.